27 minutes to the top of the hour as we're coming to the end of the show to wrap this up. And of course, with our different discussions regarding this. But of course, before we get into any discussion, don't forget the markets on the Zabo platform, which have already opened. They open at 8:15 a.m. and they will be closing at 3:15 p.m. And that is effective Monday up to Friday. Now, STAR292 hash is the USSD code, which will avail you with quite lots of options on the Zabo platform, where you can buy a government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000 Ugandan shillings. But definitely you can invest more than that. But Zabo says just bring 15,000 to make life much more easy and efficient. And of course, the market's opening Monday up to Friday, except on the weekends and the public holidays, when you won't be able to access these markets. But at least you have the rest of the 5 days to capitalize and make quite some huge profits from these markets. And life will be very, very okay. So when you trade this week after week, year after year, month after month, you'll definitely see a sudden progress in your life. Zabo says my money, my future. And all Texas East Africa says do something new. Yes, now heading straight into our tech update this Monday morning. Of course, we shall be this time around as we take a look to most of you that use Telegram. We see that there is a new malware that is targeting Mac OS users, and this will be, quite very vital when it comes to spreading the virus. Now, Telegram channel advertises Atomic Mac OS Stealer. Like I said, it's the path through which this malware is being sold. Now, there are reports of hackers using the messaging app Telegram. That is to sell a new type of malware designed to target Mac OS users. Now, the malware called Atomic Mac OS Stealer is designed to extract sensitive information such as passwords, wallets, and autofill information from a victim's computer. Now, researchers from the Cyber Research and Intelligence Labs discovered that the Telegram channel advertising the malware, and noted that the hacker behind that is the software is constantly improving it to make it much more effective. So the most recent update to the malware was advertised on Telegram. That is on April 25th, 2023. Of course, with features added to the software, and these features included, of course, the ability to steal keychain passwords, complete system information, files from the desktop, documents, folder, and even Mac OS password. Now, the malware is also designed to target multiple browsers and can extract autofills, passwords, cookies, wallets, and credit card information. Now, it can specifically target crypto wallets such as Electrum, Binance, Exodus, there is Atomic, and Coinomi. So, that's why you see you have to really take some huge caution, most especially for those of you that are using Telegram and you're using Mac OS. Selling these malwares, some of them act like, they're trying to help you. Now, a malware is something that can prevent you from hacking, but now the software itself that prevents you from hacking is also a hacking software itself. So as a computer person or a literate person, or in case you don't know something regarding this matter, you have to understand that some of these people that say they are selling to you these malwares to help to protect your computer from possible hacks, well, those very softwares might be very harmful. Now, here the malware being sold through Telegram is now targeting Mac OS users, and this has the ability to tap into your credit cards, wallets, Ethereum wallets, and some of these related crypto wallets which can be hacked into. We see Electrum, Binance, Exodus. So you must be careful if you're trading crypto and you're trying to engage yourself to get this malware. Well, that's the tech update for this morning. Of course, 23 minutes to the top of the hour. And now, as we are getting ready to head into our on-ground discussion, yes, today the topic of concern is about auditing. You could be asking yourself, do I really need an auditor as a person? Yes, it's very key and it's very important. You need an auditor for your business, So regarding this matter, we want to have a general understanding regarding what auditing is, what is the major function, and why, as a business person, you should take it very critical and serious. Today in the news, of course, we saw some aspect. I think it was in the New Vision, I think so, about more demand for auditors as compared to accountants. Public demand for auditors. So it shows you where the nation we are, the purpose of auditors in this country. Well, let's get into this discussion real quick, and definitely we shall be returning to wrap this up. Good morning.
And I'm glad that we are to discuss this crucial and much needed topic that the masses need to appreciate what audit is, but also what is the significance of audit. First and foremost, we need to appreciate that the audit itself is a process which is a systematic review and examination of financial information, records and operations of a business. Why do we do this? We do this to add assurance and credibility to the stakeholders that use this information. So our ultimate objective is to express an opinion, whether the financial information that is presented is free from material misstatement, either due to fraud or error. But we need to appreciate that the fact that we come in at a given time, we are never with the business. That's why we give you reasonable assurance. It's not absolute assurance, but we are giving you reasonable assurance to add credibility and assurance on the financial information that is presented to us. But also the other objective is to report on the findings to those that are charged with governance of the operation of these businesses. How? During our audit, we do the review of the internal controls, the business processes, to understand what the business does. So you find that during our review, we shall be able to identify those compliance issues and the deficiencies in internal controls, and we report these to those charged with management, to those charged with governance, to make sure that they can take corrective actions. And you realize that in this accountants world, the deliverables most times are two: the audit report, where the audit opinion is expressed, and the management letter, where the audit findings are reported. So one would appreciate that in the management letter, there are the findings, but we also tell you, if you don't act on these findings, what is the risk? But also, we give you best practice recommendation, so that you appreciate that, yes, I have this inefficiency. How do we appreciate it? How do I go about it? But also incorporated in that document, we put a person, we require management to indicate who is responsible and when should this be implemented, so that on the next audit cycle, we follow up your commitment. Is there progress? What is the status? Has there been implementation or not? And for where there is no implementation, we shall still report the same for emphasis, but also to ask for action from management. So that is principally what audit is. But what is the significance of this audit? Why would someone want an audit to happen to their organization, to their businesses, to what they do? The fact that you are looking at it from an objective point of view, you are evaluating the financial information, the records, and the operations of the business. There are benefits that come along. And you realize that one of them, it enhances trust and credibility. The fact that the preparer knows that there is another eye that is going to look at what I've prepared. They have a conscious mind. But also the fact that you're bringing another party to look at what you have prepared shows that what you have prepared, you trust it. So the audit helps you to achieve that credibility and trust. But this trust may not be from you or your employers, but it is from the person that is going to use the financial information. Because they are sure that, yes, there was a preparer, but also there was a reviewer.
Well, that's understanding the auditing function when it comes to business execution. Well, I don't know whether you have taken really time to where have you ever had your books audited? In other words, Jerome, this is something very interesting, and we had a look anyway. You know, sometimes now looking at the perspective of a normal person. You know, Jerome, imagine you've started out, you know, you have your boutique down there in downtown, and, you know, you're selling your clothes. Probably the best you can do for yourself is have the books of accounts. And even the books of accounts that you're going to have, you'll realize that the format in which you're going to organize it is not the format that they teach in class.
Well, obviously, but I think when you're auditing in-house, I think you can use the simplest way you understand your business as a person. Because I think the only challenge we have as a country is always cramming what we've studied and putting it, and that is making it very difficult for Ugandans to audit their own businesses. Because even when you go in businesses, for example, in Ugandan businesses, we have a bureaucratic way of doing things.
Very true.
It's like someone says, I need a report in this format. So at times you realize it becomes very hard for, let's say, for you to make it out, because you're not used to it. That is not the way you understand it.
You know, the real world tells you how it should be done.
How it should be done.
What you came from your knowledge.
You feel me? So we have, it's like we are used to one thing. We are programmed to do something that way.
Very powerful statement.
And when you look at the auditing, the challenge, when you look at the fact that if you ever sit down and ask people why it is hard for anyone to audit their own businesses, it is actually not hard. People do audit their businesses, but the only problem is we have a template in our mind of how an audit is supposed to look like. Because I think we always have these conversations here saying that it seems businesses or people don't keep records of their businesses, but surprisingly they do.
Okay.
If you happen to go to these road stalls or you go to the markets, you'll find a woman having a book. An ordinary pig fair book. Having first they will just note down
the dates,
what the opening stock. For example, if someone is selling Irish potatoes, they will clearly say, "I bought a sack of let's say 60,000 or 100,000." So after buying that sack, they will then come back and note how much they made off that sack. So in the long run, that for them is keeping records. Now, ideally, in the formal way of registering or keeping records, we then term that as informal, because for us, we think it is if you are writing a report or if you're doing an audit, an in-house audit for your business, it has to follow a certain template or a format that you're supposed to use, which is universally used. So that is why at times it becomes very complicated for business people to work with the formal sector, let's say those in the informal sector, because one is, I think it takes us back to the fact that you find someone asking, this is where you see people tweeting and saying, how come you don't know how to write an email? Am I supposed to follow a format to write something? Because I think we are in a world which is not ready to, let's say,
like in other words, you're trying to say we leave out the core factors that I've communicated.
I have communicated. You want me to communicate in a certain format that you want me to receive your communication. And you find someone telling, for example, in workplaces or workspaces, someone will tell you, I want you to write an email. You write the email. In the email you've written according to what you want them to receive.
Perfect.
Now, in the long run, your recipient, at the end of it all, will not love your communication, because that is not how they wanted it to look like. To deliver the communication. True. And I think we've come out to realize this.
Very true.
How then? Because when you look at auditing, for a business person, the reason behind auditing is why we normally emphasize auditing, especially either at the end of the month or at the start of the month, or even at the end of the week. Yes, it's because it is just self-evaluation. So evaluation means you're assessing how you've performed, how your business is performing. You look at the stock, how is it faring? Are you making profits? Are you making the losses? You're generally auditing yourself. How is, you're looking at the performance of your employees, for example. You may be someone in a restaurant and you have close to 3 restaurants, Mama Mede. Yeah, in markets. You assess the performance of you can actually assess the performance of one of your employees. You're like, once this lady is working, there are high chances that I'm going to make more money.
Make more money.
So that means you're supposed to be making good use of this person. Or at the end of the day, you'll be like, I have to safeguard this young lady before the other people doing the same business come and take her away. If you've been giving her 5,000 a day, someone may come with 10,000. So what do? You know, you have to start appreciating. But I think the auditing part of it is, I think this is something that has to go to most of the financial players in Uganda, is that we have external auditors, and external auditors tend to come in to audit how your company has performed.
Actually, maybe feel like external auditors coming to audit the internal auditors.
The internal auditors. And we have a very huge challenge in the country with the fact that, I don't know, we always take the external auditors, opinion more
to be more
more realistic than the one who's working internally, or maybe because the other one is independent and is non-sided whatsoever. But you come to realize that the external auditor, you will only you will only accept what the external auditor is doing, or you will only pay attention to what the external auditor has done once they start criticizing the internal auditor. And the way the external auditors do is, he comes, looks at the report of the internal auditor, and they will be like, which kind of format is this? That will be the first critical point he will lay out. What he will actually say, what kind of report is this? Which format? How do you write a report in this way? You feel me? Then after that, he will start putting loopholes in a report. Instead of him coming in to assess or try to build
assess the facts in the report.
Not even the report, looking deeply into understanding, auditing for himself, then comparing his report to the other. But I think the only problem is, like I said, it's like we are living in a programmed world whereby we are too static and we do not want to change. I've given you examples of the fact that Ugandans write emails. When you're writing an email or a letter or anything, you're writing seeking for a job. The formal way of doing business is supposed to change a lot if we are to
really progress
in the evolving world.
That is
it's like
true.
We are having, let's say, bosses who concentrate more on the kind of format that was set in the old days,
way back.
So someone says, you don't know how to write an email, but in the email I've sent you, I think an email is just as simple as Gmail. It's part of the Gmail. So I'm sending you an email because I'm using my Gmail to send you that mail.
Exactly. So
the essence of the mail is, it is not carrying, it is just written information. It only changes the cover of the name. So if I send you information in that mail of mine or in that email, it is ideally for you to pick the communication within it. Don't over-focus a lot on the format or the way it is. And this is why we normally tell businesses that everyone is doing auditing. How you audit, try to audit in a way you feel it's bringing, try to audit in a way
the facts that need to be known.
That need to be known, exactly. As long as you're understanding your audit report, you as an individual, it's your business first of all. Because at the end of the day, you audit it accordingly. How do you understand? Is it making sense to you? As long as it does, then you're good to go.
But some people, if it's not in the format, it already doesn't make sense. I told you, I was at some hotel and I was given a book to take the records. But to my surprise, the format which we had studied in school was totally different. I was still at some factory and I checked the books of accounts. They're totally different. But don't they have results? Don't they balance? And an auditor could come and audit the books of accounts. But he never really used to mind about, why did you put this in this format? I think this should be a critical eye opener to the financial institutions, and so many other auditors out there, and also accountants at the same time. We need to understand that flexibility is something very important at the end of the day. Before we sign out, Joram, okay, I'm going to digress a little bit, but this somehow connects. Back in the days, for you to go in the studio to sing, you needed to have a voice. In the 1920s, you couldn't sing with the horrible voice, 1930s. But today, because it was the format, but as the world evolved, it started to cater for people that sometimes it's not about the voice. I may have the substance within me, but maybe the channel is not, my voice doesn't support
Well,
me.
apparently we are now, I think that is the best way to actually put it out there. That talent says a lot about the fact that currently we shouldn't focus a lot on the talent. Because if you have the talent, you're not working on the talent, it's there. Yes, you know how to sing, so what? That's the bigger question now. You know how to sing, you have good vocals. Yes, you do. We have people who have who have less vocals. If you're to look at the vocal quality, we have people who go to even competitions just to sing, and they can't make it to first round.
Absolutely.
And then after that, they are more successful than the initial winner of the competition. So you're looking at the ideas, and you're like, at times we are not. The world is not focusing on the traditional way. The world is focusing on making sure that you make a way through. Yeah, you have to make a way through. How have you done it? But have you been able to pave a way for yourself? Or have you been able to pave way through? Have you, it's like an entrepreneur. The idea of an entrepreneur is to always create solutions to problems. You need to be a solution provider. Someone is not going to ask you, how did you make it? Until you've made it. Because in the long journey, as we are continuing, people don't look at what you're facing currently.
By the way, they don't.
It doesn't matter to them. That is why in most cases, Ugandans need to know that in the world that we are in right now, the world does not care how much you're suffering to make ends meet at the end of the day. The question is going to be, what do you have with you? People don't care whether you came from a humble background. Obviously, you did come from a humble background. You didn't have it. That wasn't your choice or everything. Now you are mature enough. You're making the choices. Why is it that you're not changing your past? So that means people do look at the present more than what you suffered yesterday.
Absolutely.
So you need to look at the present and the future at the end of it all. So I think, like we're looking at the general view on editing, I think. This is an essential basic in the business function, like you've come to realize. But what you need to do is make sure that as you continue auditing your businesses and everything, it has to be in a way that is simpler for you to understand as a business person, and at least that way you can easily interact with the rest in a more, because it is your business, then you know what you want with it and everything.
It's all about understanding your business model and how you track down the transaction. Well, 4 minutes to the top of the hour, and that is the end. We've come to the end of Smart Made Business this morning. I've been Andrew Barije with Joram Paul Sonko to drive your business, of course, on a daily. Well, channel 320 on GoTV and channel 372 on DSTV. Yes, you'll be able to catch us at whatever part of the region as we give you these latest updates. And of course, on our social media handles at Smart24 TV Twitter, and of course, Smart24 TV, that's official, that's on Facebook, and Smart24TV.tv, that's on our website, to find out more insights regarding the business world and so many other discussions on that website. You can follow us there as we keep driving the business efficiently. Yes, today is the 8th of May rather, and of course we are very grateful from all the way we started, and we're entering a brand new week, and we shall be ready to give you the right information that you need as a business person. I know probably you're trying to catch up for the failures that happened the previous week. Yeah, definitely this is a new week, and every week is a chance for you to be better at your business. Well, from the entire SMB team, we would love to wish you a very good morning. Take care of yourself and go and be productive for the day. Till tomorrow, a very good morning.